Hi everybody, happy Monday. Here is our status update for September 27th. Oh my goodness, has it been a week? Holy cow. So if you've been following along, we were in Kent and Rochester in the Medway area of England earlier this week in the southeast section just southeast of London. We said goodbye to Teddy and we transited our way over to Liverpool, and we've been in Liverpool for the week. But before we left Teddy, we did 1,000 gazillion things in southeast of England before we took off. So first, we got on the train, we went over to Canterbury, which is where Chaucer wrote Canterbury Tales. It is a beautiful city, town, village. I guess it's technically a city because it has a cathedral. We did go on a walking tour there, and what was very interesting about the city is not only is it beautiful and it has this 15th and 16th century architecture all over the place and a canal going through it and so on, but we went into the cathedral, or went around the cathedral actually, and what's interesting is why the cathedral is so relevant now is because the King Edward VIII, I believe it was, killed the bishop there because the bishop was getting too friendly with the Pope, killed him off. The bishop became a martyr, and that martyrdom created a pilgrimage, and the pilgrimage was went on for almost 100 years of people coming to the cathedral to pay homage to the bishop. What was interesting is they came along the Pilgrim Way, which we had hiked earlier in Boxley, so that was nice to put those things together. Then from Canterbury, we went over to Dover, where you all know the White Cliffs of Dover, and I'm going to show you some pictures. And we hiked along the England coastal walk up along the cliffs, and then it continues for many miles. We only did a portion up there on Dover. Had a wonderful time in Dover, then came back, said goodbye to Teddy and Catherine and Paul, hopped on the train, went through a brief stop in London, had to take the tube for a couple of stops, and then got on the train again up on the West Coast up to Liverpool. We've been in Liverpool for a couple days, found a fantastic bed and breakfast, Airbnb. It's a one-room flat with a great king-size bed and a wonderful little kitchen and a little dinette area, and centrally located downtown. A lot of people are asking us what we're paying for Airbnbs. One of the big secrets of Airbnb is if you reserve for a week or more, you get a weekly rate, and if you reserve for a month or more, you get a monthly rate. So we got a weekly rate of, I think it was $675 for 7 nights, which we think is a pretty good deal for the location that we got. Anyhow, here in Liverpool, the first day we went to one of the most amazing sculptures experiences I think I've ever been to. In Crosby Beach, which is just a little bit north of Liverpool, there is an installation called, I'll remember what it's called in just a second. It's by Sir Anthony Gormley. Another Place is what it's called, and it's 100 cast iron sculptures of him. So they're all duplicates. They're all the same. They're buried in the sand on the beach at the same latitude. At the same level, but at different latitudes. So up and down the beach. So as the surf comes in, the surf goes out, these 6-foot-tall structures or sculptures go in and are covered and uncovered with the tide. So up on the sand, some of them are still buried in sand, but then all the way out, you'll see in the pictures that when the tide comes in, they go completely over the water goes completely over the heads. And they're made out of cast iron, but the skin, if you will, of the cast iron is getting mussels and shells and seaweed embedded in it, and they're just kind of morphing into nature. It's just fascinating. All of the 100 sculptures face out to sea, and it was just the most zen experience, and I absolutely loved it. The next day, we went on another walking tour. There was a fellow by the name of Williamson in the 1850s who purchased a quarry which was empty. I mean, he did some quarrying, finished out the sandstone, and then built a series of brick tunnels in the quarry to create a space above, a flat place above, to build buildings that he rented out to tenants and so on. But we got to go underground into the underground tunnel experience, where they don't quite know exactly what he was doing, and it's really unclear what his motive and his madness and his motive of understanding is. Anyhow, what was fascinating is the tunnels over time had gotten filled in with trash, and so they had to remove the trash first. And there was a fabulous collection of 18th and 19th century bottles and ceramics and glassware on display, and then we got to go through the tunnels. It was absolutely fascinating thing, and it was free. So there's a tip for you. And we also learned a tip on how to get a bus pass that gets you on the Merseyside ferry that takes you over to Birkenhead, which is, they're called the Razzle Dazzle ferries, with a long history there. We got to take one of those too. So that was fascinating as well. And then we ended the day by doing a walking tour of the Beatles all around Liverpool, and it was a 4-hour walking tour with the guru guides, and got this complete walking tour of Liverpool. So I'll show some pictures of that too. Anyhow, we're exhausted. Today we're taking a down day, and the rain is coming tomorrow. So we've got a couple more things up our sleeve. We've got the Slave Museum, the Maritime Museum, Penny Lane, and some of the Beatles' homes coming up later on this week. So anyway, and then we head up to the Lake District at the end of the week. Whew, it has been a big, big, big week. We've had a great time in the UK, and it continues for another month or so. Talk to you soon.